So here's the best way for me to sum things up with driving the Bronco Raptor and if you should actually purchase a Bronco Raptor. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we are finally reviewing the all-new Ford Bronco Raptor, and this is going to be from the perspective of someone who owns the brand new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 and a Gen 3 Ford Raptor, and also I happen to own the new Ford Bronco, a first edition, for a little bit as well, and so I am going to give you guys my honest opinion on the Bronco Raptor, whether or not it is worth actually purchasing. Before we get into the video though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 3-liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are about 418 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 15 around town and then 16 on the highway. That's pretty cool. Also, let's go over the front end of the Bronco Raptor. So first off, you guys probably noticed the crazy hood vent piece here in the center. Apparently everything's functional here on the Bronco Raptor. Notice we have the Raptor logo there, and then we have the mirrors that are attached to the body and not the doors, so you can take the doors off and still have mirrors. The decals, yeah, I'd recommend doing the delete on those. And then you still have the trail markers just like the regular Bronco, even though they're not as accurate because, yeah, this has massive fender flares. Now notice with the daytime running lights how those are orange, because that's like a Raptor thing, and I love how you've got a little light there off to the side. You've got the marker lights all here in the center. Notice the camera there in the center as well with the chunky Ford logo. And then you guys can see here with the bumper, and yes, this thing could definitely take an impact. In normal Raptor fashion, you guys can see I've got the exposed skid plate, which just looks absolutely insane. Really beefy tow hooks. And just like the F-150 Raptor, you can see we've got the fog lights here. One of them is covered because it's technically too bright for street use. Now, you guys can see just how far that goes down. We've got 13.1 inches of ground clearance here with the Bronco Raptor, which matches the F-150 Raptor. And there's the front end also. If you guys are complaining about this being dirty, well, I did some off-roading with TFL with this and with my Jeep, so that's why it's all muddy. Popping around the side here, we've got 37s wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. This does have beadlock capable wheels, just like the performance pack with the F-150 Raptor. And overall, I think the wheels look really cool. And obviously, having 37s is just perfect for this package, being the king of off-roading, right? This does have independent front suspension, just like the regular Bronco, but everything's been beefed up. You guys can see everything is just massive here. Like, look at the control arms, everything. This does have the live valve Fox shocks. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but the big thing you need to know is they have just reinforced everything with the Bronco Raptor so it can take the high-speed off-roading that this package is meant to do. We have the massive fender flares as part of the Raptor package. This thing is over 80 inches wide. That's why you had the marker lights there in the center. The other marker lights are actually here on the mirrors because, well, it's federally mandated that it has to have lights when it's as wide as this is. And then you've got the venting here on the side, which looks really cool. Now you've got these fixed side steps. You can take those off. You notice that there's like a rock rail at the top of the steps, so you can help with the breakover angle on the Bronco Raptor. And then here is your full side view. 13 inches of travel in the front, 14 inches of travel in the rear, just like the F-150 Raptor, again with the performance pack. Hard top only with the Bronco Raptor. And something else to mention is just the whole body is a lot more rigid compared to a regular Bronco, again, to take the abuse that this is supposed to be able to handle in the desert. And then notice here with the shocks in the back, they're absolutely massive. We do have a solid rear axle here with the Bronco Raptor, and again, just look how beefed up everything is. So here's a key fob for the Bronco Raptor. It's a pretty normal Raptor key fob. It has the Raptor logo there on the back. You've got your unlock, your lock, and remote start function, and that is pretty much it. Now, just like the regular Bronco, this has the Bronco tailgate with like the 2 compression points, which helps out with opening it because it has a 37 on the back of it. And so you can see it's actually pretty easy to open up, and then the glass opens up there on the top. Now you guys will notice that storage space is identical to a regular Bronco. Also got a little bag here, but we've got the Bronco horse on the mat here, and then you can pick this up so you can store more stuff underneath if you'd like. We do have a 12-volt back there, and then you guys can see a lot of the reinforcing here inside as part of the Raptor package. Again, to make it a lot more rigid so that it can handle the abuse of jumping and everything out in the desert. But anyways, just like a normal Bronco, close both those. This is really easy actually to close. It's not too heavy, which is nice. Now, finishing things up with the rear, you guys will notice we've got the other marker lights here at the top of the tire carrier, and you guys can see with the mirror, it's got the little red light there on the edge, so it's orange on the front, red on the back, which is pretty cool. These new taillights actually look really good here with the Bronco Raptor. They're a little bit different compared to the regular Bronco taillights, and then notice how reinforced this is on the tailgate, because again, we've got a 37 here on the back end. We do have a recovery hook. Down below, we've got the receiver hitch as well, and there's another recovery hook. We've got double recovery hooks here with the Bronco Raptor. And yeah, I do have a comparison between this and my Wrangler 392. That will be posting pretty soon if you guys want to see size comparison, spec comparison, and all that. But there's the outside of the Bronco Raptor. Now that we're by the passenger door area, first off, we'll go over the door panel. You can see the material use. This is pretty much the same as what you get in just the regular Ford Bronco. Same thing with a little storage netting right there. This area, however, is quite a bit different. Like you can see that because of how large the fender flares are, it kind of goes into the door a little bit. And then you have this piece right here, which is removable because Ford thinks that this is going to take a lot of wear and tear. And I mean, I feel like that shows because look how much mud is there versus the rest of the fender flares. So it's supposed to make it so it's cheaper to replace when it breaks. And then here are the seats. So this one has the vinyl seats, which after experiencing these are the seats that I'd recommend getting in the Bronco Raptor. The padding on them is just a little bit nicer compared to the full-on like racing seats that you can get with this. They're kind of like the Recaro-like seats that are in the new Gen 3 Raptor with the 37 performance package or the Ford Raptor R. And again, they're just not as comfortable as these seats. And these, frankly, are also easier to clean off. Got the code orange seat belts, and then notice here with the rubber floor mats that go across, and then getting in's easy. You've got the grab handle there, and you can see legroom. It's literally a regular Bronco inside here. Got the little net there. Notice here with the window controls, got the power outlets, all that. Still no vents here for the rear passengers though, so just kind of know that if you're using this as a family vehicle. And other than that, well, let's head to the front. Now here is the front door panel. It's identical to the rear in terms of the material use and the overall design here with the panel itself. And this always freaks me out about the Bronco because the mirror's attached to the body. I always think the door's gonna slam into the mirror and break it. Anyways, blind spot monitoring for the mirrors. Notice it says Ford Performance right there. And then you can see with the front seats. So again, even though these aren't technically like the aggressive seats you can get with the Bronco, you can see the bolstering on them super aggressive. They hold you in place really well. And again, just as easy to clean as the rear. One downside, they are manually adjustable, but again, a lot of vehicles that are in this segment like the Jeep Wrangler don't have power adjustable seats anyways. And then you guys can see the pedal layout down below. That's for the hood latch release. Parking brake, light controls right here. You've got the grab handle, and then notice with the carbon fiber trim on the handle itself. And, well, let's pop in. So here is the steering wheel for the Bronco Raptor. It has a marker just like the F-150 Raptor, except this has like a golf ball type texture on it. It's definitely unique, but it's got that like meaty feel to it, and I really like it. You've got the giant paddle shifters here on the back, just like the F-150 Raptor. You have regular stuff like adaptive cruise control, your volume controls. This is your steering adjustment in terms of like the steering feel, not in terms of moving the steering wheel. And see what I did there as a little rhyme. Anyways, you got your R mode, which is like your My mode. You've got the suspension adjustment, exhaust adjustment, Raptor logo here with the carbon fiber, notice the code orange stitching. And this is definitely the coolest looking Bronco steering wheel. Now, unlike the regular Bronco, this is a full digital gauge cluster like the F-150 Raptor. So first off, with the exhaust modes, notice that we've got a normal, sport, Baja, and quiet. I'll talk about the sound of the exhaust during the driving portion of the video. And then for the dampers, you've got your normal, sport, and then off-road, just like the F-150 Raptor. And then again, like I said, you've got that R mode, which you guys can see what it's set at right now, which that actually is a pretty reasonable setting for the R mode. Anyway, steering, you've got your normal, comfort, and then sports. I found normal to be the best so far in terms of the steering feel with it. And just like the new F-150s, it has like the whole customizable gauge cluster where you can see different bits of info. And also, I went to the wrong one. I was gonna say, you guys can see what I've been averaging fuel economy wise between highway driving, off-roading and all that kind of stuff so far. So you can see 16.8 miles per gallon in terms of real world fuel economy, which is, yeah, interesting. Now here at the top, just like a Bronco Badlands or First Edition, this has all of the off-road goodies. So we've got the stabilizer bar disconnect, we have the front and rear lockers, which you can do independently, trail turn assist, stability control, and then the hazard lights. And we do use some of this off-road tech in the off-road review that I did with TFL, so stay tuned for that. Now here's the infotainment system. It's the full 12-inch display. So first off, we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn the steering wheel. We've got the bird's eye view as well. And then we have all the different camera viewpoints on this. So for example, I can press the camera button and you guys can see I've got like the front camera on. Fantastic system overall. And I mean, comparing this to like the Wrangler, for example, definitely a much better camera system because, well, the screen's bigger and also you have more camera viewpoints. Anyways, for the rest of the screen, you've got the shortcut bar here on the side, which we have showing the off-road statuses right now. And then you have like the main screen right here with the shortcut bar on the bottom portion. And this functions just like Ford's other 12-inch displays, so nothing too special to go into with this. Down below, we've got our controls here for the radio, and then like the auto stop start, if you can turn that off, and that's the shortcut button for the camera. We do have dual zone climate controls, heated seats, and a heated steering wheel. And then we also have a wireless phone charger, and I love how this looks like the front end of the Bronco, and it even has the marker lights. It's pretty cool. Shifter for that 10-speed automatic transmission, definitely feels cool to use. Also has the carbon fiber on it, and it has an American flag. We have our drive mode / drive line select. So the drive line select is the buttons here on the top that you can press in. We do have a 2-wheel drive, a 4-wheel low, 4-wheel high, and then 4-wheel auto, and then this is like your off-road cruise control. Now with the GOAT modes on this, just to go through them quickly, we have a normal, we have an off-road, we have a Baja, and then we have a rock crawl mode. And then on the other side, we've got a sport, a tow haul, and then a slippery mode. And this actually tows a little bit more than the regular Bronco, but just like the Jeep Wrangler, this is the type of vehicle that you tow, not necessarily tow with, if that makes sense. Anyways, we've got all of our window controls here in the center. Notice with the mirror adjustments as well. And then we have Raptor here on the center console. Other than that, though, it's pretty much a normal Bronco center console. Same thing here with the glove box, except again everything says Raptor and Ford Performance, and then some more code orange there on the dash. And then you got the grab handle there off to the side, and then finishing things up top, you guys can see here at the top you've got the nice insulation here. Again, only comes with a hard top. We do have all the auxiliary switches with the Bronco Raptor, which, yeah, 6 of them. That's definitely great. So you can add tons of accessories, and there you go. So because this is a pre-production Bronco Raptor, it doesn't have pricing on this, but if you basically went and priced this out, this would sticker for just over $80,000 because it's basically a fully loaded Bronco Raptor, just it has, again, the vinyl seats instead of the upgraded seats with like the Alcantara inserts and everything. And like I said, these are the seats that I recommend to get with the Bronco Raptor. And, well, if you want to read everything on the window sticker, feel free to do that. Let's take this out and drive it, and let me give you guys my honest thoughts here on the Raptor. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear, and let's set off. Okay, so starting off in the Bronco Raptor, and of course full throttle. And again, with our regular Bronco review, this is going to be my on-road driving impressions. If you want to see some off-roading with the Bronco Raptor, then that will be posted at a later date. I love the blow-off. Like, you get a little bit of blow-off out of this 3.0, and it sounds so fun. It's a pretty fun sounding powertrain. Now, let's talk about the driving dynamics on road here with the Bronco Raptor. First off, it does handle really well for the size that this is, just like the regular F-150 Raptor. That being said, though, it feels just as big as the F-150 Raptor. If you guys don't know, my 37 performance package F-150 Raptor with the sunroof weighs 6,000 pounds. This weighs about 57.5 half pounds. Yeah, like 50, no, it was more than that. It's like 5770, I think, for the weight, roughly. And so if you took away the sunroof from my Gen 3 Raptor, this would weigh identical to a Gen 3 Ford Raptor. So this is literally pickup truck size in terms of the width, but then also in terms of the weight. And you seriously feel it. I don't feel like I'm driving an SUV when I drive the Bronco Raptor. I feel like I'm driving a pickup truck. Other things, fuel economy's decent. Usually able to average somewhere in the 16s from a fuel economy standpoint. I would go on the highway for the review, but it is rush hour traffic, and so yeah, we're gonna be avoiding that at all costs. So I'll do another little loop for you guys for this. Transmission is extremely responsive. Seat comfort's really good. I love these Raptor seats. Best seats in a Bronco, and they're a lot better than the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon seats. That is for sure. And you know, overall, like, you can definitely get used to this. I've been driving this around for a few days, and I've gotten used to the size. But again, I feel like I'm driving my F-150 Raptor. I don't feel like I'm driving a Bronco. So here's the best way for me to sum things up with driving the Bronco Raptor, and if you should actually purchase a Bronco Raptor. And short answer, you probably shouldn't purchase this unless you're actually going to take this off-road. Because when it comes to on-road driving and mall crawling, this is not as good as a lot of other vehicles. So first off, let's talk about the other Raptor, the F-150 Raptor. This is just as wide, but it's less practical because it has less space in the interior. You can't get ventilated seats with the Bronco Raptor. It doesn't have a truck bed, and it weighs just as much. And so basically, you're paying about the same amount of money as what you pay for an F-150 Raptor for this, and you're getting a less practical vehicle. And it also is not as good looking as an F-150 Raptor, so it doesn't make any sense. So if you want a on-road driving Raptor experience and you want Raptor looks, the F-150 Raptor is a superior vehicle. If you want a lightweight, zippy SUV experience, the regular Bronco Sasquatch is also a better vehicle. And basically, the Jeep Wrangler has this cool off-roader like experience that it gives you on road, where it has this lightweight, zippy feel, and it's kind of fun. You can take the top off. The regular Ford Bronco Sasquatch is basically a more refined Jeep Wrangler. So it gives you the Jeep Wrangler experience, but it has less wind noise. And this also doesn't have a lot of wind noise compared to a Jeep Wrangler. I know this because I own a Wrangler. And so what I'm trying to say is the Bronco Raptor is worse compared to an F-150 Raptor until you take it off-road. And it's worse compared to a regular Ford Bronco until you take this off-road. So if you're gonna buy this thinking it's gonna be a good mall crawler, it doesn't fit the bill. So if it were my money and I did not do any off-roading and I wanted a Raptor, I would buy the F-150 Raptor over this. If I wanted a Bronco, I would buy a Bronco Sasquatch, lift it, and put 37s if I want the big beefy look that this has. And it would, and I've reviewed several Broncos that are lifted on 37s, and they drive better than what this drives like in terms of the overall on-road driving, because it's not nearly as wide. And so I'm not saying that Ford did a bad job on this. I think that Ford did an amazing job on this. This is the best off-roader on the planet. But emphasis on the off-roader aspect. You have to concede quite a bit of practicality to make this as capable as it is from an off-road perspective. And so you don't get any benefits out of the Bronco Raptor until you take it off-road. And I know that I'm repeating myself, but I really want to hit home with that, because I think that a lot of people are going to chase after this because it's because Ford hand selected people. It's a hard vehicle to come by, and so people are going to want it based on the rarity. And some people might trade their Bronco for this, and some people might trade the Raptor for this, and then they're going to be disappointed when it's not as comfortable as their Raptor and it drives like a truck compared to their Bronco. And so yeah, that's the best way for me to sum things up. And like I said, this thing is an absolute beast off-road. I will have an off-road review posting soon on the Bronco Raptor, and I am going to be trying to get one of these, but that's because I off-road all the time. And the benefit of this over the F-150 Raptor, if you guys just quickly want to know, is because this has a shorter wheelbase and just as much travel, and it has a front locker and everything, this frankly is better than the F-150 Raptor off-road. But like I said, it's not as good on-road. So hopefully that helps you guys out. And I think that This is gonna help Ford sell a lot more Sasquatch Bronco. This review, I think is gonna help Ford sell a lot more Sasquatch Broncos and F-150 Raptors. And yeah, I'll see ya. That's gonna sum things up for our video on the all new Ford Bronco Raptor. With that being said, I will see all of you in the next video.